Close your eyes, dear listener, and imagine sitting perfectly still, for hours, for days, while someone studies every curve of your face, every shadow beneath your eyes, every secret your expression tries to hide. I am the model. I sat for Leonardo da Vinci. And in those long, silent hours, I learned that genius is not loud. It is quiet, patient, obsessed. This is the story of the man who painted me and the world he saw that no one else could. Leonardo was born in the hills of Tuscany in a small town called Vinci, April 15, 1452. But he was not born into privilege. His father, Ser Piero, was a wealthy notary. His mother, Caterina, was a peasant woman. They were not married. In those days, that made Leonardo illegitimate, an outsider from birth. He could not inherit, could not join his father's guild, could not follow the path of respectable men. But what society denied him, nature gave him. Curiosity, vision, a mind that could not stop asking, why?
Why do birds fly? Why does water flow downhill? Why do shadows have colors?
You ask too many questions, my son. The world is as God made it.
But how did he make it? I want to understand.
And so his life became a search, not for answers, for understanding. At 14, Leonardo's father brought him to Florence, the heart of the Renaissance. He apprenticed with Andrea del Verrocchio, one of the greatest artists of the age. In Verrocchio's workshop, Leonardo learned to grind pigments, prepare canvases, cast bronze, carve marble, but he did not just learn, he surpassed. By 17, he was painting angels in his master's works that were more lifelike than anything Verrocchio had ever created.
This angel, Leonardo, did you paint this?
Yes, master. I tried to capture the way light falls on fabric, the way...
I will never paint again. You have surpassed me. From now on, you are not my student, you are my peer.
And Leonardo felt both pride and loneliness. To be the best is to be alone. By his mid-20s, Leonardo had his own workshop. Commissions came slowly. He was too strange, too slow, too perfectionist. Other artists finished paintings in months. Leonardo took years. He questioned everything, mixed his own pigments, studied anatomy by dissecting corpses. He drew flying machines, war devices, impossible inventions. Patrons grew impatient. But Leonardo could not rush. Greatness, he believed, required time.
Leonardo, I commissioned this painting 2 years ago. When will it be finished?
When it is perfect, Lorenzo, not before.
Perfection does not pay bills. Completion does.
But Leonardo could not create without understanding, and understanding takes time. In 1482, Leonardo left Florence for Milan. He wrote to Duke Ludovico Sforza, offering his services not as an artist, but as a military engineer. He could build bridges, cannons, armored vehicles, flying machines. The Duke was skeptical but intrigued. Leonardo spent 17 years in Milan. He painted, he invented, he designed. He threw the greatest parties in Italy, creating mechanical lions and theatrical spectacles. But he was still lonely, still searching.
Leonardo, these designs are extraordinary, but can they be built?
Some can, some cannot. Not yet. But one day, someone will build them, and they will change the world.
He did not create for today, he created for tomorrow. In Milan, Leonardo received his greatest commission, The Last Supper, a mural for the convent of Santa Maria delle Grazie. For 3 years he worked. He did not paint like others, quickly, in fresco. Instead, he experimented with oils and tempera, allowing him to work slowly, layer by layer. He wanted to capture not just faces but emotions, betrayal, love, fear. The moment Christ says, "One of you will betray me." The painting was revolutionary, and it began to decay almost immediately. Leonardo's experiment had failed, but the beauty remained.
The paint is peeling. I tried something new, and it is crumbling. My greatest work is already dying.
But Leonardo did not understand. Even in decay, it was perfect, because he had captured something eternal, human emotion. In Milan, Leonardo took in a young apprentice. His name was Gian Giacomo Caproti, but Leonardo called him Salai, Little Devil. He was beautiful, mischievous, lazy. He stole from Leonardo, he broke things, he caused chaos, and Leonardo adored him. For 30 years, Salai stayed by his side. Leonardo's notebooks describe him with exasperation and affection. Perhaps Salai was more than an apprentice. Perhaps he was love.
Master, I broke another sculpture, and I may have sold one of your drawings. You are impossible, Salai. Why do I tolerate you? Because you are lonely without me.
And it was true. Leonardo needed someone who saw him not as genius, but as human. In 1502, Leonardo briefly worked for Cesare Borgia, the most feared man in Italy, a ruthless prince who conquered cities through violence and cunning. Leonardo designed fortifications, maps, weapons. He did not judge Cesare's brutality. He simply observed, studied, documented. But even Leonardo could not stomach the bloodshed for long. He left within a year, returning to Florence with sketches of war machines that would never be built.
Leonardo, I need weapons, devices that will destroy my enemies.
I can design them. Whether you should use them is not my concern.
But it haunted him to create beauty and destruction with the same hands. And then there was me, or at least the painting that became me. In 1503, a Florentine merchant named Francesco del Giocondo commissioned Leonardo to paint his wife, Lisa Gherardini. I sat for Leonardo in his studio. He worked slowly, so slowly. For 4 years he painted me. And in those years I learned his secrets. He was kind, patient, melancholy. He would paint for an hour, then stare for 3. He mixed pigments no one had seen. He layered glazes so thin that light seemed to glow from within my skin.
Do not smile too much, Lisa. Just a suggestion. A whisper of amusement. As if you know something the world does not.
What are you searching for, Leonardo?
Perfection, and perhaps connection.
He never delivered the painting. He kept me, carried me everywhere. For the rest of his life, I traveled with him. I was not a commission. I was his companion. What the world did not see were the notebooks. Thousands of pages, sketches, observations, inventions, questions, written in mirror script backwards, so only Leonardo could easily read them. He dissected over 30 human corpses, drawing organs, muscles, veins with precision that would not be matched for centuries. He designed helicopters, submarines, parachutes. He studied water, light, flight, anatomy, botany. He asked, how does the heart pump blood? How do birds stay aloft? Why is the sky blue?
If I can understand how the wing moves air, I can build a machine that flies. If I can map the veins, I can understand life itself.
But he shared none of it. The notebooks were private, scattered, lost. It would be centuries before the world understood what Leonardo had discovered, alone, in silence, by candlelight. Leonardo returned to Milan, then to Rome. He moved constantly, seeking patrons, seeking purpose. In Rome, he was overshadowed by younger artists, Michelangelo, Raphael. They were faster, more fashionable. Leonardo was seen as old, eccentric, slow. He barely painted. Instead, he dissected, experimented, invented. The Pope tolerated him but did not understand him.
Leonardo, I hired you to paint. Instead, you spend your time cutting open corpses and designing machines that will never be built.
I paint what I understand, Holy Father, and I do not yet understand enough.
He would not compromise, even if it meant dying unrecognized. In 1516, at 64 years old, Leonardo accepted an invitation from King Francis I of France. The young king adored Leonardo. He gave him a manor, a pension, freedom to work as he pleased. Leonardo brought me the Mona Lisa with him. He brought his notebooks. He brought Salai. In France, Leonardo was finally respected, not for what he could produce, but for who he was. Francis called him mon père, my father.
Master Leonardo, you need not paint another stroke. Your presence alone honors France. You are kind, Your Majesty, but I am old. My hand shakes. I can no longer paint as I once did. Then teach, dream, rest. You have earned it.
And for the first time, Leonardo felt seen, not as a tool, but as a treasure. Leonardo's health declined, his right hand, paralyzed perhaps from a stroke. He could no longer paint, but his left hand still worked. He sketched, he wrote, he planned grand engineering projects, canals, cities, machines. He knew they would never be built, but he could not stop imagining. Salai left. Leonardo was cared for by another apprentice, Francesco Melzi, who loved him like a son.
I have wasted my life, Francesco. So many projects unfinished, so many ideas unrealized.
Master, you have not wasted anything. You have seen further than any man alive.
But Leonardo did not believe it. Genius rarely sees its own worth. May 2nd, 1519. Leonardo da Vinci died in the Château du Clos-Lucé in Amboise, France. Legend says he died in King Francis's arms. Whether true or not, it is beautiful. Leonardo was 67. He left behind fewer than 20 completed paintings, but those paintings changed art forever. He left behind thousands of pages of notes. They would be scattered, lost, rediscovered over centuries. He left behind me the Mona Lisa. I would outlive him. I would become the most famous painting in the world. But in that moment I was just a portrait, a whisper of a smile, a memory of hours spent in silence with a lonely genius.
I have offended God and mankind because my work did not reach the quality it should have.
But he was wrong. His work reached eternity. After Leonardo's death, his notebooks were scattered. Melzi kept some. Others were sold, stolen, lost. For centuries, his inventions were unknown. His anatomical drawings, more accurate than anything doctors had, were locked away unseen. The Last Supper decayed, his unfinished paintings were abandoned. But I, the Mona Lisa, traveled from France to Italy to Napoleon's bedroom to the Louvre. And slowly the world began to ask, who was Leonardo? What did he see that we cannot? In the 19th and 20th centuries, scholars began to study Leonardo's notebooks. They found designs for helicopters, 400 years before flight, submarines, parachutes, anatomical drawings that matched modern MRI scans. He had understood things that would take humanity centuries to prove. He had been right about so much and alone. If only he had known, if only someone had told him, you were not wasted. You were early. In 1911, I was stolen from the Louvre. A man named Vincenzo Perugia hid me under his coat and walked out. I was missing for 2 years. The world mourned. Newspapers called it the greatest art theft in history. When I was recovered, I was more famous than ever. Leonardo had painted me in obscurity. But I became an icon, a mystery, the smile that everyone knows, the painting that defines art itself. Leonardo would have laughed. He spent 4 years painting me. And I became famous because someone stole me. In the 20th century, I became more than a painting. I became a symbol. Duchamp drew a mustache on me. Warhol reproduced me in garish colors. Everyone had an opinion. Was I beautiful? Was I overrated? Why the smile? Who was I? And Leonardo, he became the archetype, the Renaissance man, the genius who could do everything. But they forgot he was also lonely. He was also human. He was also afraid he had failed. They see the myth. I saw the man. Today, Leonardo's paintings sell for hundreds of millions of dollars. His notebooks are studied by scientists, engineers, artists. His inventions inspire technology. Tourists wait hours to see me in the Louvre. They take photos, they wonder. They ask, what was Leonardo thinking? What did he see? And I whisper back, he saw everything. He saw how birds fly and hearts beat and light bends. He saw the world not as it was, but as it could be. And he tried with paint and ink and endless patience to show us. He succeeded, even if he never knew it. Close your eyes now, dear listener, and imagine sitting perfectly still, feeling someone's gaze, studying you, not judging but understanding, seeking not to capture your face but your soul. That is what Leonardo did. For me, for the Last Supper's apostles, for his flying machines and anatomical studies, he looked deeper than anyone. He asked questions no one thought to ask. He dreamed bigger than anyone dared. And yes, he died thinking he had failed, but he had not. He had planted seeds that would bloom for centuries. Thank you, Leonardo, for the hours we sat in silence, for the way you saw me, not as a merchant's wife, but as a mystery worth understanding, for the way you saw the world, not as it was, but as it could be. You were not a failure. You were early. And now, 500 years later, we are finally catching up. Good night, Leonardo da Vinci, the painter, the inventor, the dreamer, the outsider who saw further than anyone. Forever. Sleep well, dear listener, and remember, curiosity is not a weakness. It is a gift. Ask why, seek understanding, create beauty. Leonardo showed us how.